Hello everyone, Wylock here. Welcome back to the Underdark. You've just awoken to find that you've been taken prisoner by a cabal of Illithids, more commonly known as Mind Flayers, one of the most disturbing creatures in all of Dungeons & Dragons lore. I have built an entire modular dungeon out of foam, cardboard, and hot glue, and now I'm going to take you on a tour and show you what awaits you. And with regard to the crafting, there's nothing particularly new or revolutionary in this video, so rather than talk at you with the things that you can see me doing on screen anyway, I'm going to embellish with a little bit of lore. And remember that our sponsor is Heroes Horde for you 3D printers out there. Excellent selection, including all True Tiles lines. General Architecture. The lair is virtually lightless. The Mind Flayers need no illumination and they hate its presence. The only lighting is for the benefit of thralls, and it's very dim in areas frequented by the Illithids. Those with the ability to see the architecture discern dripping walls carving in twisting, writhing patterns, reminiscent of tentacles twining around themselves. Moisture glistens everywhere. Thralls shuffle listlessly here and there, apparently carrying out errands but with no sense of urgency. Silence reigns. Hallways are bizarre and slick, almost flesh-like. Mind Flayers like to have a lot of personal space and enjoy solitude where they can be alone with only their thoughts and the Elder Brain's omnipresence. The hallways provide them that solitude. The Fresh Capture Pit. From time to time, large numbers of captives are brought en masse to an Illithid stronghold. The spells and psionic abilities that transform a captive into a thrall include difficult, high-level powers. Enthralling 50 or more captives is a time-consuming process, and it could take weeks before all are broken. While their wills are still free, captives are confined in a pit with smooth vertical sides, slick from condensation. The only way out or in is to be raised or lowered telekinetically or by winch operated by thralls. Time in the pit is a truly wretched existence. Victims mill about weekly and find release from the pit only if selected for enthrallment, ceremorphosis, or to become a meal, though the majority will experience the latter. Depending on the kind of creatures trapped, lethal battles and even cannibalism occur, especially when the supplied food and water are insufficient. The Performance Eating Theater. A stage occupies the lowest central spot of this theater, with stone benches arranged in a semicircle above it. Illithids need to eat 1 brain per month to meet their minimum physiological needs for survival. Many eat more than that, depending on their status within the community and their personal success at hunting. But even the most compulsive brain gourmand is restrained by the need to protect the community's whereabouts and by the Elder Brain's commanding presence. The fact that Mind Flayers can exercise control in their appetites does not lessen their hunger for more brains. They have arrived at a peculiar solution to this problem: performance eating. Illithid performance eaters train to extract every possible nuance from the brain-eating experience. They give careful consideration to how the victim is fed and treated prior to the performance, how it is restrained during the performance, and the physical process of extracting and consuming. This exquisite culinary event is shared with the audience through telepathic means, so that every Illithid in attendance experiences the meal. Adventurers captured by Illithids often suffer this fate. Their unusually active, exploit-filled minds are widely acknowledged as the most delightful to Illithid senses. Further, free minds that have never been enthralled are considered superior. Through performance eating, every Mind Flayer in the community can experience the thrill. Much of the time, this auditorium is empty. Eating performances occur several times a week, but most are small events with only a dozen or so Mind Flayers in attendance. The Thrall Barracks. The Thrall Barracks are much cleaner and more comfortable than capture in the pit. Thralls who have been broken to Mind Flayer rule are assets, and it's not efficient to treat them so badly that they can't work at full strength. Slabs of stone make their beds, and they are given the bare minimum of comforts. Thralls can be of any humanoid race, but are typically Duergar, Grimlocks, Orcs, humans, or goblins. To be fully effective, new Thralls need to adjust physically to their enslavement. Thralls might be assigned tasks by the Mind Flayers that they had no previous training for, as miners, valets, cooks, or warriors. Illithids place very little value on the life of any individual Thrall, but they abhor wastefulness. A Thrall that kills itself and possibly others by causing a tunnel under construction to collapse has wasted not only its own life, but the lives of the other trained Thralls and the time needed to redo the work. Consequently, a training regime of sorts is used. The Mind Flayers have developed a highly efficient program of rewards and punishments to spur training. By the time a Thrall completes its indoctrination, it is docile, ready to work, and eager to please. Older Thralls carry out most of the instruction. Some are instructed in the fine points of acting as a Mind Flayer's personal servant. The Trophy Room. Before being tossed into the holding pit, captives are relieved of their possessions. Many an adventurer has made such a donation, and Illithids do conduct commerce with the surface world through proxies. Thus, they do collect and value many of the same treasures as everyone else. All of the spoils are stockpiled in this room. Unlike many other aberrations whose physical shape makes the use of humanoid-crafted magic items difficult, Mind Flayers are humanoid enough in form to wear the same magic items that any human character could wear. Mind Flayers naturally favor items that add to their already formidable mental acuity, seeking out or crafting on their own headbands of intellect or cloaks of charisma. They also greatly value defensive magic, such as rings of protection, cloaks of resistance, and bracers of armor. Mind Flayers feel that they are far too important to allow themselves to be killed through insufficient preparation, and go to great lengths to provide themselves with magical defenses of all sorts. The Laboratory. This room could very well be the well-stocked lab of any college wizard or alchemist. Furniture made of zirkwood houses books, potions, scrolls, and other research paraphernalia. Mind Flayers are curious. It is one of their few admirable qualities. When they turn their powerful intellects to a problem, they investigate all potential channels for solving it, psionic, magical, and scientific. Illithids can be found working on any number of devices in the lab, some of which would horrify any non-Illithid investigator. Considering their powerful intellects, it's not surprising that many Illithids study wizardry. What is surprising is that a small number of Illithids are actually sorcerers. How sorcerous talent manifests itself in creatures as non-human and alien as Mind Flayers is a great mystery to those who study the basis of sorcery. Certainly they have no dragon blood. It could be that this tendency depends on the history of the donor body prior to it undergoing ceremorphosis, but Since no systematic study is possible, no one knows. However it's explained, the combination of psionic and sorcerous power is fearsome. These creatures are shunned even by others of their own kind. The Temple of Ilsensine. The main feature of this large hall is an idol of a massive disembodied floating brain trailing long ganglia. Braziers of incense fill the air with a sweet scent of spices so cloying it overwhelms the lungs and stings the eyes. This carved image of Ilsensine is believed by Mind Flayers to be a very good likeness and approximately life-size. Since Illithids don't truly worship the deity, they wander in only as the mood strikes them to make sacrifices or request boons. Chambers attached to the central temple house the attendant acolyte and library. The cleric Mind Flayer seldom leaves the temple. On rare occasions, they conduct processions through the temple to the Rotunda and then to the pit to pick their thralls and captives for unknown purposes. Sometimes they move silently through the community on unknown errands. Their purposes and accomplishments are not well understood by other Mind Flayers in the colony, but the Elder Brain sanctions everything they do, so their activities are not questioned. The Rotunda. Illithid communities organize around a central plaza. The main feature of the plaza are the fountains and pools. Some of these serve as baths for the Illithids to keep themselves clean and their skin moist. Others, especially fountains with wide sprays, primarily function to keep humidity high in the cavern. The walls and pillars of the chamber are carved so that they seem to undulate beneath their glistening layer of dampness. The walls of this spacious chamber are honeycombed with the Illithids' individual dwellings. Every Illithid, even the youngest, has its own living space. To an outside observer, assuming they could see anything in the gloom, an Illithid plaza is unnerving not only because of its alien, organic-seeming architecture, but because of its unearthly silence. Mind Flayers in flowing robes walk along slowly or float telekinetically from level to level, while others drift languorously in dark, indifferent pools of steaming liquid, all in near-complete silence. Only the splashing of the fountains and the occasional grunt or scream of a thrall being punished or devoured breaks the hush. While thralls generally keep to their tasks and quarters, they do on occasion outnumber the Illithids in the Rotunda because common duties, such as carrying messages, stonework, menial labor, and meal service, bring them here. Birthing pods. In basic configuration, a Mind Flayer is amphibious. The first portion of its life is spent as a tadpole hatched from an egg. They spend 10 years in the pool with the Elder Brain, where they are fed a fatty mash of brain material and other organs prepared by nursery attendants. After a decade, the strong are selected and then inserted into the ear, nostril, or eye of a helpless humanoid captive. Over a period of several days, the tadpole burrows into the host brain, consuming gray matter and gaining body mass in a nearly equal ratio. When the process is complete, the victim's brain is completely replaced by the tadpole's bloated tissue, and it is neurologically melded onto what remains of the lower brainstem and assumes complete control of the body's nervous system. Seromorphosis is not an easy process. The body suffers fits of madness, delirium, terrible convulsions, and worse as the brain is slowly devoured. When a tadpole is implanted into a host body, it is brought to this moss-lined chamber to complete the week-long transformation. At least one mature Illithid and one or two thralls watch over the twitching, convulsing body to prevent it from injuring itself and to occasionally wash the filth from its body when it momentarily stops thrashing. Mind Flayer, quote, births are rare, so most of the time these chambers are empty. They could be used for more than one seromorphosizing tadpole at a time, but that seldom happens. The Elder Brain. The Elder Brain lives in a pool that dominates the chamber. The liquid in the pool is dark, swirling, and foul-smelling. Countless small shapes, which are Illithid tadpoles, swim to and fro in the murk. At the bottom of the pool, the formless mass of the Elder Brain stirs listlessly. Mind Flayers regard the protection of the Elder Brain against direct attack as the most important duty of the Sept. Unlike other chambers, the pool of the Elder Brain is often protected by a large, sturdy door that is kept barred and psionically sealed from the inside. Several Mind Flayers are always in attendance in this chamber, minding the pool and ready to respond to any requests the Elder Brain might make. Normally, only Illithids are permitted to enter, but on rare occasions, the Elder Brain indicates that particularly interesting captives should be brought before it for inspection and questioning. The room is guarded by carefully renewed dimensional lock and screen spells, designed to prevent sudden teleportation assaults or spying on the chamber. The Elder Brain itself is far from defenseless, of course. Its terrible spells and psionic powers can quickly scour its chamber clean of life, if need be. But it is essentially immobile, unable to leave the confines of its pool, and its survival depends on the Mind Flayers that serve it. This is the gauntlet you'll need to traverse if you hope to escape Illithid capture. This terrain is totally modular. I've laid out the stronghold as shown, but there are an infinite number of combinations and interconnections you could use. I made 20 hallways of varying lengths and curvature. Simply place hallways and rooms onto the game table as the party progresses to give the players that sense of discovery and also eliminate the need for fog of war and metagaming. You can even arrange things in the footprint of a nautiloid if you wanted to subtly and gradually reveal to the players that they're actually on an airborne alien ship. The lore you've heard here today was paraphrased from the Dungeons & Dragons 3rd edition supplement Lords of Madness, The Book of Aberrations. All decor and other pieces you've seen were built in previous episodes on the channel, so if you're new here, go ahead and check out the backlog. If the Underdark is your favorite setting, like me, I have several other Underdark-related videos that I guarantee you'll enjoy. Thank you for joining me today. I'm Wylock. Make things, play games.